Hey, hey. Evening or afternoon actually, how are you guys doing? Let me just see how it's all going. Well, over here it's really hot right now. I think it's 35 degrees Celsius, which is very unusual in the Netherlands. Happens once a year, maybe for the last couple of years it does happen more often. But yeah, not normal. So today we're going to do a yoga stream with a lot of exercises to kind of cool down. Okay, we're going to keep it very relaxed, very easy, very slow, just to make sure that you can keep up and that you don't, get dizzy or anything like that. Because it would be very nice to make sure that you can relax during the stream. Hey, welcome if you're just tuning in. Freddie, hi, good to see you. Okay, we're gonna start in about 2 minutes. Make sure you have something you can use as a surface, okay? So you can use a yoga mat, but if you don't have one, not to worry. Anything that is a bit soft, you can use, especially in relaxed yoga. You don't need any grip. So a yoga mat can be nice, but you don't have to. If you have a good rug or like a big blanket that you can fold a few times, anything that kind of helps the joints not to press too hard on the surface, okay? So that's basically the only thing that is really important. Otherwise you can just use basically anything. Make sure it's big enough you can lie down on it. And then we're gonna start. Okay. I'm just gonna put this one right here. Okie dokie. We're just gonna start in about a minute. So take your time settling in. And you can sit on anything, You can sit on a mat if you like to sit on the ground. But use a chair, something to lift the hips if you feel this is uncomfortable. And you can always bring the feet back and the knees up front, so you don't open the hips, okay? You just kind of tilt them forward. Sometimes it's better. So always try to find your own way of sitting that you feel that you can kind of relax. Of course you need some strength, if you don't use any you'll fall down, obviously. But you need to feel like you can relax, like it's comfortable to sit in this position. And if you feel very, very tight, if your hips are painful or the knees or maybe your ankles or your back, find another position, use a chair, and you'll notice that it will get easier over time, okay? So your body always needs to get used to new things. And give it some time to get used to it. Same with all the postures that you practice during yoga. It's new. If it's not new, then you'll know that it will get easier. If it's new for you, then just give yourself some time to practice. Don't be too hard on yourself, Try to do everything on like 50% or something. Okay. Oh, I need to adjust my clock 1 second. There we go. Okay. Are you ready? There we go. You can close your eyes. And you can just make sure that, again, you like the way you're sitting. And it's okay to practice. If you feel that you use some strength in your back, for example, that's okay. That's okay. You can practice. Just don't make it into a struggle. We're not going to sit for hours at a time, so if you feel you can sit like this for 5 to 10 minutes, it's good enough. It's good enough. You can always practice that by making that time of sitting for meditation, for example, longer. A minute at a time, for example. Try to relax your knees and your hips. If you want, you can just roll your shoulders up and backwards once. Bring your shoulder blades together a little bit. So you kind of open the chest. You can lift the sternum a little bit. You don't push the ribs out. You just lift the sternum up. So that gives you more space, okay? It gives your lungs more space. And if you relax the belly as well, the lungs have even more room to move the breath. So if you breathe in, you You simply have more capacity. Try to breathe slowly in and out through the nose. Maybe you feel like you want to move your head around a little bit from side to side, or just make circles. Just kind of feel that if there's any tension in the neck or the upper back, you can just make small movements. Try and relax that, okay? And every time you can go back to the breathing. So you bring your attention back every time to relax the belly and breathing fully. Try to keep it natural, okay? So if you feel that your breath is going very deep, like if you have to really work for it, then ease up a little bit. It's the exhale that you kind of do, and the inhale comes. So you don't inhale, it's not a verb, it's kind of like, it just happens. If you breathe out, naturally breath comes in again. So let it come back in without doing it, and then breathe out actively by kind of squeezing the belly a little bit inwards, backwards. That way you breathe out more actively, and then you feel when you relax the belly, the breath is coming in, and then slowly back out. So you control your exhale and you relax the inhale. Any movement you want to make or that you feel that the body would like right now sitting down, just do it. It's nice when you give yourself permission basically to turn every yoga session into your own party. You know, I'm kind of like the DJ. Oh, I like that. I'm like the DJ. You can turn on the music. So you decide if you want to dance to the music or make it your own party. Make your own movements. Just keep breathing. And I want to guide you through a breathing exercise that can help with the temperature. If it's the same as in the Netherlands, it's the same temperature here. It's really hot, so it can help to learn how to cool the body down a little bit. And it's an easy exercise, but you need to be very careful not to do it too intense, otherwise you might get lightheaded. Okay, so if you can form your tongue, you can curl your tongue into a roll, like the sides go up, and not everybody's able to do it, but try if you can make this kind of roll. Okay, so your tongue is into a roll. If you can do that, slightly push the tip of the tongue to the upper side of the mouth, okay? Like you're slithing, like that. If you can make a roll, you breathe in with your mouth, through your mouth, with that roll of the tongue. And you breathe out naturally. You breathe in through the mouth and out slowly. When you breathe in through the mouth, make sure you don't breathe in too much air, because then you will get lightheaded, okay? So we make a very soft, very small inhale and a relaxed exhale. You can breathe out through the mouth or through the nose, whatever is most comfortable to you. But the thing to pay attention to is when you breathe in. It's the same when you push your tongue up. Feel the air go through the sides of your mouth, and then breathe out. Easy. You can keep your eyes closed if you want to keep them open, doesn't matter. Just make sure that you pay attention to your breath. So you don't extend the inhale. Just a normal, regular, natural inhale. And out softly, okay? So try that for a few breaths. Whenever you get dizzy, stop the exercise. That's not the point. Keep the belly relaxed. Just normal inhale. Soft exhalation. You feel the air getting cold over your tongue. It's kind of cooling the tongue, which cools the body. And if it's difficult, just do it 3 times and then 3 normal breaths. And then 3 times again and 3 normal breaths, okay? So try to practice with it without forcing yourself into a very uncomfortable situation. Just keep breathing, keep practicing, and if you feel you had enough, normal breaths. Try to keep them slow and soft. If at any time you feel dizziness, same like during session, put both feet on the ground, knees up, and then you rest your head on your hands or in your arms and on your knees, okay? That way your body can readjust and hopefully get less dizzy. Otherwise just lay down, that's also fine. Okay, let's make one more cycle with the breath. Keep the normal rhythm. And try to relax your breath again. Normal in and out, through the nose. Try to feel what's happening. Maybe you notice things in the belly or the chest, the head, temperature, anything. You're slowly going to make some movements. You ready? And bring your fingertips towards the sides. And then when you breathe in, just bring them up. Stretch yourself all the way out. And when you breathe out, bring your hands together in front of your heart. We're going to do that 2 more times, okay? In your own pace. So keep the breathing rhythm you have. During your inhalation, just reach up. Exhalation, relax down. Relax your shoulders as well, okay? So you just let it sink in. 1 more time. Stretch out and relax. Letting go. Very good. You can bring your arms horizontally. And when you breathe out, you can bring the right arm down and the left arm goes up. You can kind of twist your hand, so you kind of go the same way. Your palm is facing the right. You can keep it up straight, or if you have some more space, you can bend over slightly. When you breathe in, come back up. And when you breathe out, we're going to go the other way. Palm facing the left. And we're going to do that a few times. Again, in your own breathing rhythm. In is upwards, exhalation going down. As far as you like, okay? So you can make it into a very soft movement, staying up, or a little bit deeper, and then you kind of bend sideways. In and out. So keep your own rhythm. Try to bend only sideways, okay? So you don't fall forward. Keep your sternum up. Only sideways. Careful of the lower back. It's not supposed to hurt anywhere, of course. And then wherever you are, you can stay on one side. Okay, and try to feel if you want to keep it up or if you want to bend a little bit deeper. Keep both buttocks, both sitting bones on the floor, okay, so you don't tilt towards one side. You kind of push the one down and then you stretch out through the arm, through the side, so you have a very long stretch, active stretch. And when you breathe in, come back up. When you breathe out, we're going to do the other side, okay? Both sitting bones on the floor. You can stretch as far as you like. So try not to bend the arm, but keep the arm long. So you stretch out through the arm, through the fingertips, all the way upwards, maybe to the side, maybe just to the ceiling. You feel the stretch. Keep the belly relaxed so you can breathe all the way through. You're doing great. And if you're already sweating, oh, that's true. it's hot. Breathe in, come back up. You can bring both arms up. And then we're going to go into a twist. One way or the other, it doesn't matter which way you twist, which way you turn, we're going to do both sides. And when you twist, it's usually very slightly, okay, because you don't have anything to hold on to, it's just the upper body moving. Try to relax the arms, okay, so you stretch out, and then you let the arms sink back into their sockets, basically, into the back. Try to keep the back long, and the breathing soft and deep. So even if you have your arms stretched up, the breathing can still go down. We're going to turn the other way. So first come back to the front, and then we're slightly going to twist towards the other side. If you want, you can look up. That's too much for the neck, you can keep it neutral, or bring the head down a little bit. That's fine too. If you feel it's nice to bring your chin to your chest a little bit, that's good. Just keep the arms up. Breathe in, come back to the front. And when you breathe out, we're going to come forward. You can put your hands on the floor. And you can stay like this. If you feel that you have more space to just relax, wiggle a little bit back, you can come onto your elbows, or you can place your head on the floor, or you can place your head on your hands. Just relax down wherever you end up, basically. Relax the belly and just breathe. And just let your head relax, even if you don't touch the ground, if you're just hanging halfway, that's perfectly fine. That's all depending on the flexibility of your hips and your back. It's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the way you are built and the way you are moving right now. So try to accept wherever you are and just relax into that pose. And slowly push yourself back up so you don't put any pressure on the back. So you kind of slowly walk your hands towards yourself until you're straight up again. And then put the other foot forward. If you are sitting on the floor, if you're sitting on a chair, obviously you don't have to do that. If you're on the floor, other foot forward. And we're going to do the same thing. So you put your hands in front of you. And maybe you just want to sit up straight. Maybe you feel a little stretch on the sides or on the lower back, you can just sit up straight. If you want to relax, just lower the head, relax the back, and feel wherever you want to end up. And maybe you can go further, but it's painful or you feel the stretch is too much, then please just come back a little bit so you don't go over like 80% of your range of motion. If you go 100%, usually that means you're overstretching it. And when it's really warm outside, it can feel like you're very, very flexible, but actually your muscles are not used to it. So if you feel that you can lower yourself way deeper than normal, don't do that. Just come back a little bit because you are overextending maybe joints or muscles or fascia, your tendons and ligaments. So keep it soft. Slowly walk yourself back up again. Very good. Give yourself some time. If you want to roll your shoulders a little bit. And then you can bring your hands behind your back. You can choose to hold your elbows, or you can hold your hands. You interlace your fingers. If you do that, just bring your wrists together as well, okay? So you just kind of stretch out. Stretch out towards the back. And then you can lower your head. Bring your chin towards your chest. Make a deep stretch. Keep breathing. One more breath. When you breathe out, just let it go. Let it roll, let it relax. Maybe you want to wiggle a little bit. It's all fine. Okay. Just roll it over. Okay. And you can put both feet on the ground. We're going to do the next one step by step. And you can bring the right foot under the left one. Okay? And then you bring the left one over the right one. Just see if this is okay. Just keep sitting this way. I think we did it last time as well, so maybe you already know this one. And if you want, you can place the knees on top of each other. If it feels comfortable, just the important thing is that you can sit up straight, okay? So the back is long. Otherwise, just keep your feet on the floor or on the other side of your leg. So it's a 3-step pose, and you can stop wherever you feel you're comfortable. And you can just sit like this. Again, you can hold your toes. You can hold the big toes, kind of making a circle with your body, circling the energy. Or if you want to stretch the lower back a little bit more, you can come over all the way over your knees, relax your head, keep your hands maybe on the ground to give yourself some support, some extra support, and just relax. And any pose is good, okay? So find what feels good today. It might be different than yesterday. Sometimes poses can be very influential by how you moved today or how you slept, how you're breathing. So anything is fine. Find your own way. And just keep breathing. Very good. One more breath. And you breathe in, slowly walk yourself back up if you're lowered yourself down. You can put your hands behind you and come out of the pose. You can keep your feet on the ground, okay? So we're just gonna switch sides. Left foot, bring it under the right one. And this is how you can keep it, right? So this is the first pose. And if you feel comfortable here, just keep it here. It's perfectly fine. You can just sit up straight, bring it like this. If you have more room, more space in your hips or in your knees, you can bring your feet over the knee, foot over the knee, sorry. And even more space, you can just put your knees on top of each other. And again, you can stay up straight or just roll over. And always remember that there is not a better pose, okay? A pose doesn't get better if it's more complicated or if you make it more difficult or harder on yourself. Usually, actually, a pose gets better when you feel you're kind of on the edge of your comfort zone. So if you feel this is okay, but you know, you feel your hips, it's kind of okay, you need to breathe, you need to focus on the breathing, because maybe otherwise the breathing gets stuck. Then you're kind of on the edge of your range of motion, okay? If you feel like, okay, I'm gonna try to move forward and it's gonna hurt, and you feel like, okay, I just need to breathe very carefully, then you go too far. So you want to be at the edge of your comfort zone, and sometimes, you know, with a pose where you feel very comfortable, you can go very far, even maybe a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but not too much. And if you just start doing yoga, if this is maybe the first time you're trying these kind of poses, please stay inside your comfort zone, okay? That's perfectly fine. You don't always have to push yourself. Okay? We have no results here that we need to get. There's no goal. You don't have to improve anything about yourself. You're just basically playing here. If you are bending forward, slowly come back up. Hands behind you. And then, you know, untie yourself again. If you want to stretch your feet, you can do that, and you could just wiggle them a little bit, you know, relax them a little bit. Take a deep breath, relax the belly, the hips. You know, especially after these kind of poses, it's important to release all tension. Okay, so don't take any tension of this pose along with you to the next one. The next one is going to be on our backs. And you can use a block for that one. You can make it an active pose if you want to make it active. You don't use anything. If you want to make it more passive, you can use a block. So I'm going to show you both. I'm going to put the block right here, so I can get that if I need it. I need to adjust my microphone for a second, otherwise there will be no sound at all in a few seconds. Okay, the next one is the fish pose. You can come backwards on your elbows. So try to bring the elbows behind you. Maybe you can put your hands under your hips if you want to, otherwise put them beside your hips. Stretch out your feet, so you make yourself long, you make your feet long. And then you can lower yourself slowly backwards, lift the chest, lift the belly, and you can release the head. You can relax the neck. If you want, you can let your head rest on the floor, so you go very low. If you want to go up higher, you open the chest, open the belly areas, and just relax the head backwards, okay? So this is the active fish pose. Active fish pose. If you want to make it a passive one, take your block. If you have a rolled up blanket, that's fine too. Put it on the upper back, so make sure it's high enough, shoulder high, and then you relax all over with your hands, with your back. So make sure this way you can completely relax and close your eyes if you're in fish pose. If it's too hard on the neck, keep the chin towards your chest in active fish pose, not a passive one. So in passive one you have to relax, otherwise it's too hard on the neck. If you're in an active fish pose, you can choose to keep the chin to your chest, and you can always make it lower, right? You can always make a small roll of a towel, for example, to do this pose. Keep the eyes closed, because otherwise you might get nauseous or dizzy because you're upside down. If you're in passive fish pose, you can relax your feet and your legs. If you want to keep them stretched out, you can do that too. So make it your own. Keep the breathing soft, comfortable. Relax the jaw. It's okay if your mouth is hanging open. Relax the eyes, shoulders. If you're in active fish pose, keep the belly and the chest up, so you make a very hollow back, very actively open. And then slowly roll yourself back down. So if you're in active fish pose, you can just lay on your back. Passive fish pose, you can put one foot on the ground or roll yourself towards the side. Get the block out from under you, and then release yourself onto the floor. So your whole back is supported by the floor. If you want to, you can bring your feet onto the ground and just let your knees fall back or fall towards each other. Then the lower back is supported more as well. So if this is more comfortable, just go at it like this. And keep on breathing and try to feel what's happening. Okay, maybe sometimes in a pose you are too busy trying to, be aware if it's okay being in the pose, and then you kind of miss the physical sensations. And then once you're out of the pose, a lot of things can happen. And there's nothing you have to do about what you feel, okay? Unless it's pain, then make sure you do the pose more softly next time. But any other sensations is just for you to observe. There's nothing you need to improve, nothing you have to do about them. I'm going to stay for one more breath. And then we're going to bridge pose. Okay? Bridge pose is the same way. You can do it actively or passively. When you do it actively, bring your feet all the way towards your hips. Put them firmly onto the ground, hip width apart, so you don't let your knees fall outward. They stay straight. You can let your hands rest on the mat. And then you kind of tilt your pelvis, okay? So you push your navel all the way down, and when you breathe out, you bring your hips up. So this is active bridge pose. Standing like this. So you activate your muscles. If you want to make it passively, you can use your block again, or you can use a meditation cushion, and you put it on the lower back, the lowest part of the lower back, almost at the hips. And you have to be very careful to feel that point where you can relax the back onto the block. If it's too high, it's uncomfortable. If it's too low, it's uncomfortable. So find that pose. And then if you want, you can bring your feet a little bit further away from the hips. So you can relax on the block. And then you might feel that you can relax the hip area and stretch the hips. If your back is okay, you can stretch all the way. And then you have a deep stretch of the psoas, a very deep muscle that connects upper and lower body, which can be very tight if you're sitting a lot. And this way you can stretch the entire body. So you can relax onto the block or onto a meditation cushion. You can open your hands. If you're actively in the bridge pose, just make sure you keep a straight line from the shoulders towards the knees. And anytime you want to come out of it, just take some time to relax and then come back if you want to, okay? And if you're in a relaxed bridge pose, try to breathe and try to feel if you can actually let go of any muscle strength. Because if the pose is too deep, your muscles will not be able to relax because they want to protect your joints. They want to protect the lower back. Only if you can fully relax. Otherwise, keep your feet, for example, on the floor. So you only have the support, but you're in full bridge. A few more breaths here. And then slowly activate the hip area. So you pull the navel, even if you're in a passive bridge pose, pull the navel in and then lift the hips. So you activate the belly. Bring the block out from under you. And then release the hips onto the ground. Relax the back on the ground. Bring the knees together. Feet outward, hands outward if you want to, or maybe you want to leave them on the belly, that's fine too. Deep, soft breaths. And anytime you want to, you can do that cooling down breath, so with the rolled tongue or with the tongue on the upper side of the mouth. If you want to do that, for example, 3 times during poses or in between poses, perfectly fine. You can do it at the end as well if you like. Okay. From here, you can bring one knee in, so let's make the left one. You can bring the left knee in, bring it all the way in. And if you want, you can hold your foot. So you bring your hand on the inside of your knee, and you hold the inside of your foot. Otherwise, you just hold your knee, both is fine. You can let the other knee, leg just stand here. If you want to stretch it, you can do that too. So you have a deep stretch again. Relax the leg, it's both fine, whatever feels most comfortable to you. Okay, so we're going to do half a happy baby pose or happy Buddha pose. Try to relax your foot so both feet are relaxed. We're just making a very deep hip stretch here. If you have an itch on your nose, no problem. It's all part of the plan. And same goes for this pose, right? Just keep breathing towards the belly. In any pose that is not active, you can relax the belly as much as possible and keep the breathing down. If the breathing comes up a lot, so if the breathing gets tight or in the chest or fast or shallow, your body will produce more heat because it's a stress reaction and the body needs the heat to go into the fight or flight mode as well. So you produce more heat if the breathing is not relaxed and if it's not regular. So keep practicing, even if you're not in a yoga session, keep practicing that the breathing goes towards the belly, relax, and as evenly as possible. You can always count along with your breath. Maybe your inhale is like 3 seconds and your outhale is 3 seconds, or maybe longer or shorter, it doesn't matter. Just keep it evenly, and if you can extend the exhale, that's always okay. We're going to switch sides. So slowly release the left foot, guide your leg back, and then bring in the right one. Inside of the foot, you can hold the knee if you want to, right? This is the first part. If you want to take it into half a happy baby, inside of the knee, inside of the foot. And you just kind of let the weight of your hand bring the foot and the knee down physically towards the armpit. If you want to keep this leg up, you can keep it like this. If you want to stretch it, slowly let it all the way down onto the floor. Okay. You can keep your hand in your hip if you want to. And we're just going to lay like this. And just let the body relax, let it cool down a little bit. We're going to circulate the blood in the hips a lot today. Keep breathing. Oh, you're doing great. Oh, this is nice, you know, taking some time for yourself. Taking some time to actively pay a lot of attention to your body, to your breath, and to your mind as well, because you'll notice sometimes when your body becomes still, when you have that focus, the mind is kind of going, you know, going nuts basically. A lot of thoughts come up, and they can be really silly thoughts, they can be very serious or very emotional, and that's just what happens. When you move, emotions are going to come up, which bring thoughts, or thoughts come up, which bring emotions. That's very normal. And know that you don't have to engage with the thoughts, okay? Just acknowledge that they are there, and they'll still be there when you're done. And they just come up. They feel, you know, they feel that you're making room for them, so they will come by. Say hello. Slowly bring your leg back, all the way down. Slowly, very good. And then again, you can take your block, or you can take a folded blanket or a cushion, anything you like, or you can use your hands, okay? So we're just gonna relax our legs up again for the warmth. And you can just keep them up like this, but it could be that it takes a lot of strength for the belly. And then you can use a block or a blanket, again, anything you like, and you just shove it under your hips basically, until you feel comfortable. So you feel that you can lift your legs, but completely relax them, okay? So not as much so that they fall down, but there's no strength in the feet, no strength in the legs, just kind of feel that you have this balance of keeping them up without any tension. And again, soft deep breathing. It's always a good exercise to do when it's warm. As I explained last time, when it's warm and you have some tired, very heavy legs, this will help. This will help the blood circulation in the legs, and fluids, if they build up, can build up in the ankles or in the legs as well, or in the feet. This will circulate it back into the body. And you can do this exercise. We're doing it very, very short, you know, just a few minutes. But you can do this for like 15 minutes every evening before you go to bed. Make sure that you can relax, so you can also do this against the wall. And then just let it relax. Keep breathing very softly. And then lower the legs all the way down. You can put your feet on the ground, careful of the lower back, so activate the belly muscles before you release the block or the blanket, whatever you have going for you. And just lower yourself. We're going into Shavasana, so you can relax the legs and stretch them out. You can keep the hands on the belly, keep the hands out. And if you feel like you want to yawn, you want to sigh, that always can be, you know, the one thing that your body needs to completely let go. So don't hold back. Give it your all, give it your best. And then feel that the body is allowed to become heavy. Try to make sure in Shavasana that there is nothing that is holding you back from that relaxation. So if you feel like you need a cushion under your head, for example, or something under the knees, if the lower back is too much unsupported, if it's causing too much strain in the lower back, use something under the knees. Shavasana should be that moment in your yoga session where your body can completely neutralize again. Where you feel that you can consciously let go. All tension, all balance, all strength. You don't need it right now. All you need is that awareness in your body, the awareness of your feet touching the ground, your legs touching the ground, being soft and relaxed. The awareness of your hips, the heaviness of the hip area, and the entire back, all to the ground. With no tension, no strength, just softness. You feel how your shoulders and your arms are in touch with the mat, the floor, and how you can let go, how they can become heavy, just kind of sink into the floor. And last but not least, your head. Feel how heavy your head can be. How it can basically sink into your mouth. Your whole face can relax and become soft. How the breathing just, moves on its own. You don't need to change it, force it, push it, anything. You're going to stay here a few more breaths in that relaxation, in that calmness. And then take your time kind of waking your body up again. So you can breathe in and out a few times, a bit deeper than you might be used to. Let the belly come all the way up and let it sink all the way down again. So one active breath. And then you can make small movements with the hands, with the ankles. You can stretch yourself all the way out and come back up. And maybe you want to come up through one of your sides, or you roll to your side and then slowly push yourself back up. If you want to come back up more actively, you can bring your knees in, bring your chest towards your chin, just roll yourself back up. Be careful so you don't get dizzy. And once you're sitting, you can close your eyes just for another, for another minute or so. Again, it's always the same. If you want to go into meditation after this, close the screen, close the stream or the video if you're watching the video, and just go into that meditation for a little bit, or longer if you want to. Otherwise, just take another minute to feel your body. And maybe your attention is being drawn to only one part of your body that was maybe very the center of your exercises. But try to see if you can bring your awareness wider, so you can feel your entire body. Not just the hips, not just the back or just the knees, but the entire legs and upper body, all as one. Yoga literally means oneness, it means union. And oneness is found in many ways, but the first thing is the oneness inside you. Your body is one. It's not just the knees, it's not just the back. It's one system. See if you can feel that. If you can feel everything together. A part of the oneness, that connection, union, is the oneness between you and other people. Maybe you experience that with some people and not with others, but part of us is divine. And that inner part is in everyone. And through that part we are connected. It's kind of the meaning of Namaste, the greeting that we say a lot as yogis towards each other at the end of a yoga session. It means that you recognize the divine, the light, into the other person, because that's where you're connected. And the third level of oneness is the oneness between you and everything in creation. Because everything in this creation is energy. Some of it visible, some invisible. But everything is energy and it moves. It is constantly changing. And sometimes, in this case, the energy changed into a human form, into you. And later on it will change back into dirt or trees or animals. So there's a oneness between you and every living part of this creation. You can always start with the oneness in you, the oneness between your body, and your mind and your breath. There's no separation there. You can slowly bring your hands together in front of your heart. And take a moment again to thank yourself, to smile, to hug yourself inside. You showed up. You showed up for you. To pay attention to your body, your mind, your breath, your soul. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. If there's anything you'd like to know, if you have questions or just want to share something, if you have feedback, whatever it is, just leave it in the comments below. Always answer that. And we're gonna have another stream tomorrow at 8:45 to 9:15. So it's a half an hour. It's more hatha yoga, so it's a little bit more active, but we're gonna keep it cool, because of the weather. Otherwise, maybe you see me somewhere this week. And I hope you have a great week. It's going to be hot here for a little while, so we're just going to take a lot of slow yoga this week. Okay. And I'm just going to come a little bit closer. And let me just check this out. Okay. I'll see you next time. Have a good afternoon.